Seoul, South Korea. He didn't usually read the comments. His team filtered them, too much noise, too many extremes. But tonight, he scrolled anyway. It was late. The apartment lights were dim, a soft amber glow slipping across polished floors. Rain traced lazy paths down the windows. The kind of night that made even the silence feel heavy. Ji-hoon sat on the couch, phone in hand, thumb dragging across the screen. Comment after comment scrolled by. Marry me. Oppa, you look so tired at the airport. Please rest. Another CF? King behavior? Can we get a smile without the mask next time? Your voice is everything. Please sing more. Is anyone else obsessed with his dimples? Why is he always so serious? Lighten up, Oppa. Ji-hoon, you're our king forever. More pics from the movie set, please. When's the next drama? We're waiting. He kept scrolling, eyes skimming, heart rate steady. It had all become noise. Then something different caught his eye. Even oceans rest beneath storms. Stay still, Tagore. He stopped. Not a question, not a fan scream. Just stillness. He read it again. Then again. It was posted under his latest photo, a quiet black and white candid his team uploaded. Him in profile, walking out of the studio, head down, collar up. He tapped the username, at Wildflower Vibes private account. Profile photo, a faded image of a foggy lake. Bio. Stories that bloom like wildflowers. Writer Biaun. Lover of all things bright and bold. He scrolled through her past comments. Each one subtle, quiet, strange in how seen he felt. Even stars need to go dark to rest. That looks like a beautiful spot. Hope you enjoyed the view. Love the light in this photo. Makes me want to visit there. Looks like a fascinating project. Can't wait to see the final result. That set, studio looks amazing. Appreciate you sharing a peek behind the curtain. Hope the filming, recording, etc. is going well. That color really suits the mood of the photo. Looks like a relaxing day. Hope you had fun doing the activity mentioned, shown. Simple moments are the best. No emojis, no hashtags, no thirst, just something thoughtful. She must have been following him since the beginning of his career. She didn't say she was a woman, no real name, no pictures. But he knew. The voice in those words wasn't guessing. It was remembering. And somehow, it remembered him. He didn't follow her. But he took a screenshot, saved it in a hidden folder. Then turned off his phone and sat in the quiet. The rain didn't stop. But somehow it didn't press down so hard, not tonight. The next day after lunch, Ji-hoon checked his account again and sat up straighter. Another comment, posted just minutes ago under the same black and white photo. Some gardens don't just bloom, they make you feel whole. He tilted his head. Same handle again at Wildflower Notes. Not a quote this time, just soft words. Quiet. Like the message behind them. He tapped the account. Private. No selfies, no spam, no loudness, just the kind of presence that made you pause. He didn't follow. But he didn't scroll away either. Victoria, Canada, earlier that evening. Hannah's finger hovered for a moment before she hit post. Some gardens don't just bloom, they make you feel whole. It was what she saw in his photo, not the fame or the filters, but the way his shoulders curved, like he was quietly folding into himself, even while walking tall. The way his collar was up, head down, tired but still going. She remembered watching his last interview too. The host had joked, You work more than anyone I know. Ever sleep? Ji-hoon smiled, quick, camera ready. But his eyes didn't smile back. Hannah's friend Zara walked in with 2 mugs of tea. You're thinking about him again, aren't you? Zara teased, settling beside her on the couch. Hannah gave a small shrug. He looked heavy today. Not sad, just quiet in the wrong places. Zara raised an eyebrow. You make it sound like you know him. I don't, Hannah said. I just recognize that look. The way tired people try not to look tired. She took the tea and stared at the screen for a moment longer. No hashtags, no filters. Just words placed carefully like petals. Post, Seoul, Ji-hoon's apartment, midnight. He stared at the screen, at wildflower notes. Private. No profile picture showing her face. Just a soft pink flower against a warm beige background. He hesitated, then tapped follow. His phone screen dimmed as he locked it, leaning back into the couch. For someone who lived under a spotlight, this felt strangely personal. Almost like knocking on a stranger's door, not as a celebrity, but as himself. Victoria, Canada, Hannah's apartment, morning. Her phone buzzed mid-sip of coffee, at Ji-hoon. Official started following you. The cup clinked back into the saucer. She stared. Blinked. Checked again. No way, she whispered, heart skipping. No way. Zara popped her head into the room. You okay? Hannah turned the screen. He followed me. Zara squinted. Wait, the Ji-hoon? Like actual Ji-hoon? Not a fan page? Verified, Hannah said, voice low. It's real, Zara gaped. What? Did you post a thirst trap and I missed it? Hannah laughed, half disbelieving, half nervous. No, just words. That's all I ever post. Later that night, Ji-hoon's apartment. He scrolled through her grid. Now that he followed her, the posts unfolded like soft brushstrokes, a ceramic teacup on a windowsill. A handwritten note that read, Some days, peace is a warm blanket and nothing to prove. Yellow tulips pressed into the pages of a poetry book. A low-res shot of Butchert Gardens at dusk. And this caption, Some places aren't just beautiful, they're forgiving. He smiled. This wasn't fan behavior. This was something else. As he scrolled through her feed's soft light, handwritten notes, spines of old books, half-lit cafes, never a full photo of her face. Just glimmers a blurred reflection in a rainy window, her hand tucked into a knit sleeve, the back of her head under a straw hat. Somehow, it made him feel like he already knew her. He went back to his own profile, found one of his older posts, a quiet photo, almost forgotten. He hovered, then replied under one of her past comments. Sometimes silence says more. Hannah's phone beeps. A new notification, at Ji-hoon. Official replied to your comment. She blinked. Read it. Read it again. Then just sat there, phone in hand, wondering how something as small as a sentence could feel like a conversation. Not loud, not flashy, but real, soul. Studio office, late afternoon. Ji-hoon's team was deep in their weekly digital audit. 2 assistants tapped away at laptops, screens filled with metrics, mentions, reposts, and flagged usernames. Another burst in engagement from the Philippines, Mina noted. Also, we've got a comment string on the old studio photo. It's getting traction. She zoomed in, at Ji-hoon. Official had replied to a comment which was rare. A comment that read, Even oceans rest beneath storms, stay still. His reply, Sometimes silence says more. Mina raised a brow. Did he respond to this person? His manager, Hyun, leaned over. Who's the account? At Wildflower Notes. Private, low follower count, not verified. No promo tags. Hyun looked thoughtful. Bot? Nope. Genuine engagement, aesthetics consistent. Captions are poetic, original. She's not tagging brands or trying to bait responses. Hyun crossed his arms. So why her? Back in Jihoon's apartment, hours later. He walked into the kitchen and opened the fridge, barely listening as Hyun spoke on speakerphone. Hey, not to make it a thing, but someone from the digital team flagged your reply to that fan at Wildflower Notes. Jihoon paused, closed the fridge door. Okay, just checking, was it deliberate? Yes, Jihoon said simply. I liked her words. Silence, Hyun sighed. I'm not policing you, but public interaction 7, subtle one-scan spiral, you know that. Jihoon leaned on the counter, calm. She wasn't screaming, she wasn't begging for a reply. She just saw me, or something like me. I wanted to say thank you. Hyun exhaled, voice softer. Okay, just keep it low. No follows, no hearts. One spark is enough to light a rumor mill. Jihoon didn't respond, because it was already too late. In Victoria that night, Hannah was grading essays when her notifications doubled. Comment likes, reposts, a few follower requests. She squinted. Someone had screen-grabbed Jihoon's reply. Korean celeb replies to quiet fan, is he okay? Soft boy era? Jihoon gives poetic shout-out to anonymous fan. Oh no, she muttered. Zara barged in seconds later. Hannah, you're on Twitter, or X, or whatever it is now. What? People are digging. Some fans think you're dating? What? I haven't even met him. Zara held up her phone. One of his fan sites decoded your flower posts and matched a garden photo to boot chart. Girl, they're detectives. Hannah stared at the screen, heart pounding. All she had done was comment. How did it become this? Seoul. Jihoon's apartment, pre-dawn. Jihoon hadn't slept. His team's caution echoed in his mind, but it didn't stop him from opening her profile again at Wildflower Notes. He also scrolled back to the studio photo where she'd posted the quote. Her comment was buried under thousands now, but he remembered every word. Even oceans rest beneath storms. Stay still. He murmured it aloud, then opened his calendar and stared at the next 10 days of obligations. A thought formed. Quiet, dangerous. He opened Kakao Talk. Jihoon. Clear my schedule for 3 days next week. No press, no appearances. Tell them I'm unavailable. Family. Hyun responded instantly. Hyun, you don't have family in Canada. Jihoon didn't say where, just said family. Victoria, Canada, Butchart Gardens, afternoon. Hannah loved the bench by the koi pond. Tucked between a path of peonies and a maple tree, it always felt untouched, like the garden paused for breath. She posted a photo from the bench. No selfie, just the curve of the wooden slats and blurred petals behind it. Caption. Some gardens don't just bloom, they let you rest in their stillness. She hit post, then set her phone down and stared at the water. Nearby, tourists took photos. A family walked past with ice cream. It was peaceful. Still, her nerves were high. Ever since Jihoon's reply, she had gained a slow trickle of followers. She hadn't accepted any. Zara said it was fine. Just don't post your face, she had warned. Keep your mystery. It's oddly romantic. Hannah didn't want to acknowledge that feeling. She felt seen, and that scared her more than attention. Victoria, Butchart Gardens, 2 days later. Ji-hoon stepped out of the cab wearing a low cap and gray hoodie. No assistant, no translator. Just his camera bag slung across one shoulder and a note in his phone that read, Butchart Gardens, Koi Bench, Map Gate Entrance. He had studied her old photos, used geotags, matched petals and lighting, even found a YouTube walking tour to plan his path. And here he was. He stood in front of the koi pond. No one was on the bench, just light breeze and scattered petals.
He pulled out his phone and took a photo of the empty seat. He didn't post it on his main. Instead, he uploaded it to a blank anonymous story account. No tags, no location. But he left one line in the caption, resting beneath everything. Victoria, Hannah's room, that night. She was brushing her hair when she saw it.
Her friend Zara had screenshotted a random story floating through a small fan community. Zara's message, "You're not gonna believe this. Tell me this isn't the bench?"
Hannah zoomed in. Same angle, same light. Same petals scattered near the armrest. The caption hit her like deja vu. Resting beneath everything. Her fingers trembled slightly. She didn't reply to Zara. She just went to her notes app and typed, "Someone else sees what I see." Then she posted it quietly. No hashtags, no one tagged. Just one more flower blooming in a long thread of soft echoes. Victoria, Inner Harbor, early evening. Ji-hoon stood by the railing near the water, camera in hand, watching the last glow of sunlight spill across the bay. He rarely got to just be. No stylists, no scripts, no crew, just the wind and the steady hush of waves. He took a photo, a blurred motion of seagulls crossing the sky, and slipped the camera back into his sling bag. Then his phone buzzed. A notification from the anonymous account he'd used to post the koi bench photo. He opened it. A new comment. At Wildflower Notes. "Someone else sees what I see." His breath caught. She saw it. She knew. He glanced around as if she might suddenly be standing behind him. But the harbor was crowded. Families, couples, a few tourists with cameras like his. He pocketed the phone, heart racing. This wasn't coincidence anymore. Meanwhile, 3 blocks away, same time. Hannah walked out of Monroe's Books with a canvas tote and a full heart. She loved bookstores that felt like cathedrals full of hushed awe and hidden treasure. Her phone buzzed in her coat pocket. Zara, he's here. Hannah stopped mid-step. Hannah. What? Who? Zara. Him. Ji-hoon. Victoria. There's a blurry pic circulating. Hoodie, harbor, don't panic. Her fingers froze on the screen. Was it possible? She turned around slowly, scanning the sidewalk, the crosswalks, the street ahead. No hoodie, no cameras, no obvious chaos. And yet a flutter rose in her chest. She wasn't sure if it was hope or fear. She typed back quickly, "Hannah, I'm not looking for him." Zara, "Maybe not, but something tells me you'll find him anyway." At the harbor. Ji-hoon was walking toward Government Street, just a few minutes ahead of her without knowing. They passed the same cherry tree, 5 minutes apart. He paused to take a photo of it. She walked past it after, pausing to look up, noticing the petals drifting like soft snow. The universe held its breath. Later that night, Ji-hoon's Airbnb. He scrolled through the day's photos on his camera. Harbor, seaplane, bench, cherry blossoms. He paused, zoomed in. His heart skipped. No face. But something about the way she carried herself, he found himself reflecting on that encounter earlier. As he passed the bookstore, he had slowed, not because he planned to go in, but because something about the storefront caught his eye. The sign, the old brick, the way the golden hour light pooled around a single figure just outside. She stood there, tilted slightly forward, gazing into the display window. A long scarf curled around her neck, her tote slipping from one shoulder. She wasn't doing anything dramatic, just still. Present, unbothered by the rush of the world. Without thinking, he had raised his camera and snapped the moment. He wasn't sure why. Maybe it was the peace in her posture, or the way she made the city noise look quiet. He only realized what he'd done as he scrolled through the day's shots now. One frame, softly lit, not posed, not performative. And something about it made his chest tighten. He didn't post it. Instead, he just saved it. Later that night, Hannah's apartment. She opened Instagram. His official page hadn't updated, but somehow she felt closer to him than ever. She didn't check the fan rumors again. She just opened her journal app and wrote, "He was here." The next day, the cab slowed just outside the garden's west entrance. Ji-hoon leaned against the window, eyes following a stream of people leaving the park, sun-drunk couples, families holding souvenirs, elderly tourists squinting at maps. Then he saw her. The sway of her hair beneath the same straw hat she had worn in one of her posts. The way she tugged at the strap of her canvas bag, removed her hat and tucked it into her bag. Even from behind, something tugged at his chest. Ji-hoon straightened. "Stop here, please," he said, already reaching for his wallet. The driver blinked. "This isn't a drop-off zone. I won't be long." He handed over cash, murmured thanks, and stepped out, the door clicking shut behind him. The air was cooler here, salt, tinged and blooming with hydrangea. He kept his distance, unsure. She paused by the Seed, gift store at the gardens, where books on blossoms and family legacies lined the shelf. The breeze carried the scent of roses and possibility. Ji-hoon took one step closer, then another. "Excuse me," he said softly. She turned, brows lifted, and froze. For a beat, neither of them moved. Then her eyes widened with realization. "It's you," she breathed. He gave a slow nod. "And it's really you?" No hug, no outburst. Just a long look that said everything louder than words. Something softened in her shoulders. A breath uncurled between them. He tucked his hands in his coat pockets. "I wasn't sure if I'd get the chance to talk to you." She laughed, nervous, surprised. "Same here." Then he said, "Glad we're here now." They stood there, surrounded by the slow shuffle of evening foot traffic and rustling trees. Ji-hoon finally asked, "Would you like to walk a bit?" She hesitated, then nodded. They turned together, wordless but at ease, like a familiar chapter finally returned to. Ji-hoon hadn't planned on staying long. A day or two, that's what he'd told himself. But somehow, the space between his departure and another flight kept stretching. He met Hannah 2 more times after that first encounter. Once near the Rose Carousel, once outside the cafe where she ordered mint tea with too much honey. She'd offered him a sip, and he'd surprised himself by liking it. They didn't do anything dramatic, no grand gestures or overdone conversations. Just sat, walked, talked. Still, something had shifted. On the 3rd day, he snapped a photo of the garden bench, the same one from his earlier post. This time with sunlight streaming behind it, casting long gold shadows. He posted it without a caption. Later that evening, she commented, "Some places don't just bloom, they stay with you." He didn't reply, not publicly. Meanwhile, somewhere online, a spark. A fan tweeted, "Okay, wait. Why does this random garden bench pic feel weirdly personal?" Another posted side-by-side images, his photo and a tagged location. Butchert Gardens, Victoria. The frenzy started quietly, then built like a slow boil. Did anyone else notice he's been posting from the same area? Is he with someone? Who is at Wildflower Sketches? She keeps commenting these poetic things. And then it hit a bigger fan account, at Jihoon Updates HQ. Our team tracked down the location in Jihoon's latest post. Sources confirm he was spotted in Victoria, Canada. A woman has been seen with him multiple times. No confirmation yet, but speculation is rising. Stay tuned. His phone rang. Manager, then publicist. Then another call. "Jihoon, what is going on? You didn't mention a break. The agency's getting press inquiries. And this woman, do we need to issue a statement?" He rubbed his forehead and exhaled slowly. "I'm fine, it's nothing serious." But he knew it wasn't nothing, because when he checked Hannah's profile again, her last post was gone, and her comments had been deleted. Hannah sat in her apartment that night, stunned. Her Instagram had been private for years. No real name in the handle, barely any followers. But it didn't matter. Somehow, they'd still found her. An old Facebook page, one she hadn't touched since university. A dusty Goodreads account. Even a travel blog she once started and abandoned. Hundreds of DMs. A few odd comments. Some threatening. She had no idea how they knew, but the internet didn't sleep. Her friend Anna texted, "Hey, your old Facebook's blowing up. Should we take it down?" She stared at her screen, heart beating a little too fast. Part of her wanted to disappear. Another part, the stubborn, steady one, refused to regret anything. Even this. Jihoon sat alone on the hotel balcony, a mug of untouched tea cooling in his hands. Below, the city murmured in soft lights. But inside him, the noise was deafening. His manager had called twice. The team group chat was a storm. K-nets are speculating about the mystery woman. A Canadian, a fan. We need a statement, even if it's just denial. Do you want us to handle it? He didn't answer them. Instead, he scrolled through the headlines. Who is the Canadian beauty spotted with Jihoon? Anonymous quote sparks dating rumors. His secret muse? Internet detectives think they've found her. One article even referenced her words, her garden caption. He hadn't named her, hadn't tagged her. But they still traced it, pieced it together, guessed. They always did. Meanwhile, Hannah sat on the edge of her bed, hugging her knees. Anna's voice buzzed over speakerphone. "You okay?" "Not really. They don't know for sure, but people are cruel, Han, especially online." She exhaled, her throat tight. "I didn't ask for any of this." "I know." Silence. Then Hannah whispered, "I thought I could just mean something to someone quietly, without it turning into this." Jihoon opened Instagram. He stared at the draft of a post. One image, the garden bench. The same photo from his quiet walk 2 days ago. He hovered over the caption field. Her words echoed. "Some gardens don't just bloom, they make you feel whole." He typed slowly. Found. He hit post. 30 minutes later, the world exploded again, but this time it was different. The tone shifted. Some fans softened, some defended. Others still criticized, but the story, it was no longer rumor. It was real. And Jihoon had chosen it, chosen her, even if only with one word. Rain misted softly as Hannah walked into the conservatory at Beacon Hill Park. Everything smelled like new green and damp petals. She held her phone tightly, ignoring the buzzing. She hadn't replied to the messages. Not to Jihoon. Not to the people asking if it was her. Not even to Anna or Zara, who was visiting her family in Calgary. She needed quiet. Not the kind people romanticized, the kind where you could breathe. Then she saw him. Jihoon stood near the pond, hoodie up, hands in his pockets. His head turned the moment she stepped through the glass doors. For a moment, neither moved. Then he walked to her, slow, unhurried. No mask, no cameras, just him. "Hi," he said, voice low. "Hi," she replied. They stood there for a beat. The koi made slow circles behind them, like they had all the time in the world. "I didn't mean for your name to come up," he said. "I never said it." "I know," she said quietly. "They just found the pieces." He nodded. "That post, I needed to say something, even if it wasn't everything." Her lips curved, just slightly. "You said found." "I did." "You meant the bench, of course." He looked at her, really looked. "No, not the bench." She swallowed. "You didn't have to post anything, Jihoon. You could have let it fade. I would have understood." "I didn't want to," he said. "For once, I didn't want to hide behind the brand." The air was still. A leaf landed softly beside them. "I didn't know it would get this far," she whispered. "I just liked your quiet moments. I wasn't looking for you." "I was," he said. "I didn't know it then, but I was." A long pause. Then Hannah asked, "What now?" Jihoon stepped closer. Not touching, just enough to feel the space between them shift. "We talk," he said. "Off screen, without captions, just us." She blinked. "And when you fly back?" "I'll still call, still write, still find ways." She tilted her head. "You're Jihoon Beck. You don't get to just date a stranger from Victoria." He smiled gently. "Maybe that's exactly what I get to do, because for once I don't feel like Jihoon Beck. Just me." She laughed under her breath. "You're ridiculous." He grinned. "And you're still quoting poetry on strangers' posts." They stood in the conservatory for a while. No cameras, no noise. Just a boy who traveled halfway across the world and found a girl who saw the parts of him that didn't make it to stage. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more original, magical, unexpected love stories and music from around the world.